5. Situations where you should never be silent. In a world where injustice, miscommunication, and conflict often thrive on passivity, silence can sometimes be a dangerous choice. While it may feel safer to remain quiet, there are critical moments when speaking up is not just important, but essential to uphold integrity and foster justice. This discussion will explore 5 specific situations where choosing silence can lead to complicity and wrongdoing, and why finding the courage to voice your thoughts and actions can create positive change. From standing against injustice to asserting personal boundaries, these moments demand clarity and action, reflecting the principles of Stoic philosophy and the fundamental need for human connection and respect. Let's delve into these pivotal situations where your voice can make all the difference. In the face of injustice, silence can often be misconstrued as neutrality. However, it is crucial to recognize that remaining silent is, in fact, an active choice that allows wrongdoing to persist unchecked. This choice can have far-reaching consequences, not just for the individuals directly affected by the injustice, but also for the broader community and society as a whole. When we choose to stay silent, we inadvertently become complicit in the very injustices we hope to combat. This analysis will explore the implications of silence in the face of injustice, the moral responsibility to speak out, and the potential for positive change that arises from taking action. Injustice manifests in various forms, from systemic discrimination and inequality to individual acts of unfairness. Each instance of injustice chips away at the foundations of trust, dignity, and fairness within a community. When individuals witness such acts but choose to remain silent, they send a powerful message that the status quo is acceptable and that the suffering of others is not worth the discomfort of confrontation. This silence, while often rooted in fear of retaliation, fear of being ostracized, or fear of standing alone, ultimately serves to perpetuate the cycle of injustice. It creates an environment where wrongdoing can flourish without accountability, leading to a culture of complicity and indifference. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes justice not merely as a virtue, but as a moral obligation. The teachings of figures like Marcus Aurelius remind us that what harms one ultimately harms all. By allowing injustice to go unchallenged, we fail not only the victims, but also ourselves, as we compromise our integrity and the values we profess to uphold. The act of remaining silent in the face of injustice can be likened to a slow poison that seeps into the very fabric of our communities, eroding the trust and solidarity that bind us together. Moreover, the irony of silence is that, while it may seem like a way to preserve peace or avoid conflict, it often leads to deeper chaos. Injustice, much like a festering wound, only worsens when ignored. The discomfort that comes with speaking out is a small price to pay compared to the long-term consequences of allowing harm to persist. When individuals muster the courage to voice their concerns, they not only stand up for those who are suffering, but also inspire others to do the same. Each act of speaking out creates a ripple effect, fostering a culture of accountability and encouraging others to confront injustices in their own lives. For instance, consider a workplace scenario where an employee is unfairly blamed for a mistake they did not commit. If colleagues choose to remain silent, the unjust treatment continues unchecked, leading to a toxic environment where fear and mistrust prevail. However, if one person decides to speak up, highlighting the truth and supporting the victim, it can embolden others to join in the fight against injustice. This collective action can lead to meaningful changes in policies and practices, ultimately fostering a more just and equitable workplace. Furthermore, speaking out against injustice is not limited to grand gestures. It can also be found in everyday actions. Whether it is standing by a colleague during unfair treatment, confronting discriminatory remarks, or advocating for marginalized voices. These seemingly small acts of courage can have a profound impact. They demonstrate a commitment to justice and a refusal to accept the status quo. In doing so, individuals not only uphold their own integrity, but also contribute to a larger movement for change. In conclusion, the choice to remain silent in the face of injustice is not a neutral stance. It is a decision that allows harm to continue. By speaking out, individuals can challenge the status quo, inspire others, and create a culture of accountability and justice. The moral responsibility to confront injustice is deeply rooted in our shared humanity, and the potential for positive change lies within each of us. It is essential to remember that while the path of speaking out may be fraught with discomfort, it is also the path that leads to a more just and equitable world for all. When your boundaries are crossed, remaining silent can lead to exploitation and harm within relationships. Boundaries are essential for maintaining respect and trust and integrity in any interaction. They represent the invisible lines that delineate what is acceptable behavior and what is not. When these boundaries are not enforced, it sends a dangerous message to others that your comfort and dignity are secondary to their desires. This lack of communication can lead to a gradual erosion of self-respect and can create a toxic environment where manipulation and exploitation thrive. Failing to defend personal boundaries often results in feelings of resentment and frustration. It may begin with small compromises, where one might rationalize the behavior of others, thinking that keeping the peace is more important than standing up for oneself. However, as these compromises accumulate, they can lead to significant emotional distress. For example, one might feel taken advantage of by a friend or family member who repeatedly asks for favors without reciprocation. The initial kindness can turn into a burden, and the individual may start to feel like their needs and feelings are being overlooked. Establishing boundaries is not just about saying no, it is an act of self-respect. It is about recognizing one's own worth and asserting that one deserves to be treated with dignity. When one sets clear boundaries, it teaches others how to interact with them. It communicates that certain behaviors are unacceptable and that there are consequences for crossing those lines. This can lead to healthier relationships based on mutual respect and understanding. For instance, if someone continually borrows money without returning it, setting a boundary by stating that you can no longer lend money without accountability is not only fair but necessary for maintaining your own financial stability and emotional well-being. Moreover, communicating boundaries effectively requires both firmness and empathy. It is essential to express your needs clearly while also being considerate of the other person's feelings. This approach helps to minimize conflict and fosters a more respectful dialogue. For example, instead of accusing someone of being selfish for constantly borrowing money, one might explain how their actions impact your financial situation and emotional state. This way, the conversation becomes a constructive discussion rather than a confrontation. In the context of personal relationships, failing to uphold boundaries can lead to a lack of trust. When individuals feel that their boundaries are consistently violated, they may withdraw or become defensive, leading to a breakdown in communication. This withdrawal can create a cycle of misunderstanding and resentment, further complicating the relationship. On the other hand, when boundaries are respected, trust is built, and relationships can thrive. People feel secure knowing that their limits are acknowledged and valued, leading to deeper connections and healthier interactions. Additionally, the practice of setting and maintaining boundaries can empower individuals. It fosters a sense of agency and control over one's life and relationships. By taking a stand for oneself, individuals can cultivate self-confidence and assertiveness. This empowerment can extend beyond personal relationships and influence other areas of life, such as professional environments. In the workplace, for instance, establishing boundaries regarding workload and personal time can prevent burnout and promote a healthier work-life balance. In conclusion, when your boundaries are crossed, it is crucial to speak up rather than remain silent. Protecting personal boundaries is not just about preventing exploitation. It is an affirmation of self-worth and respect. By setting clear boundaries and communicating them effectively, individuals can foster healthier relationships, build trust, and create an environment where mutual respect is the norm. Ultimately, standing up for one's boundaries is a vital step toward personal integrity and emotional well-being. In moments when honesty is required to uphold integrity, remaining silent can lead to deception and the erosion of trust. The essence of integrity lies in our commitment to truthfulness and authenticity, values that are often tested in uncomfortable situations. When faced with the need for honesty, the choice to speak up, despite the potential for conflict or discomfort, becomes a crucial act of moral courage. Silence in the face of truth can manifest in various forms, whether it is withholding information, ignoring inaccuracies, or simply choosing not to voice a differing opinion. This silence may seem like a temporary solution to avoid confrontation, but it often has far-reaching consequences. When we choose not to address inaccuracies or misleading statements, we allow false narratives to persist, which can mislead others and create a culture of dishonesty. This is particularly evident in professional environments where the stakes are high, and the consequences of misinformation can be detrimental not only to individuals, but also to the organization as a whole. For instance, consider a scenario where a team member presents a report filled with inaccuracies during a crucial meeting. The errors may not be intentional, but the implications of allowing such misinformation to go unchallenged can lead to misguided decisions and a loss of credibility for the entire team. In such situations, the instinct to remain silent might stem from a desire to avoid conflict or protect a colleague's feelings. However, this silence compromises not only the integrity of the report, but also the trust that colleagues place in one another. By failing to address the inaccuracies, one becomes complicit in perpetuating falsehoods, undermining the very foundation of trust that is essential for effective teamwork and collaboration. Moreover, the act of speaking up in these moments is not merely about correcting a mistake. It is about fostering an environment where honesty is valued and encouraged. When individuals take the courageous step to voice their concerns or highlight discrepancies, they set a precedent for transparency and accountability. This not only reinforces the importance of integrity within the team, but also empowers others to feel safe in expressing their own truths. In this way, honesty becomes a collective responsibility, where each member contributes to a culture of openness and respect. The Stoic philosophy emphasizes that living virtuously is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Upholding honesty, especially when it is difficult, is a testament to one's character and commitment to ethical principles. It requires a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths and engage in difficult conversations. By choosing to speak the truth, even in challenging circumstances, individuals demonstrate their dedication to maintaining integrity, both for themselves and for those around them. Furthermore, honesty is not synonymous with brutal candor. It requires a thoughtful approach that balances truthfulness with compassion. It is essential to communicate with respect and empathy, ensuring that the message is delivered in a manner that fosters understanding rather than hostility. This approach not only preserves relationships, but also reinforces the idea that honesty is a means of building trust, rather than a tool for criticism. In conclusion, the necessity of honesty in upholding integrity cannot be overstated. Remaining silent when the truth needs to be articulated is not a neutral act. It is a choice that can perpetuate deception and undermine trust. By embracing the courage to speak up, individuals not only protect their own integrity, but also contribute to a culture of honesty and accountability. The commitment to truth, even in the face of discomfort, is essential for fostering meaningful relationships and ensuring that integrity remains at the forefront of our interactions. Ultimately, honesty is a guiding light that nurtures trust, respect, and a shared commitment to ethical principles. When it comes to addressing mistakes, silence can often be a dangerous choice. Ignoring errors may seem like a way to maintain harmony in the moment, but it frequently leads to larger issues down the line. The act of correcting a mistake is not merely about pointing fingers or assigning blame. Rather, it is an essential step toward preserving the integrity of both the work and the relationships involved. Mistakes, like small cracks in a dam, can initially appear insignificant. However, if left unaddressed, they can grow into substantial problems that threaten the very foundation of projects and partnerships. This phenomenon is particularly evident in professional settings where collaboration is key. For instance, when a team member makes an error in a report or presentation, failing to acknowledge and rectify it can lead to misguided decisions that affect the entire team. The consequences of inaction can ripple outward, resulting in lost opportunities, wasted resources, and diminished trust among colleagues. The philosophy of Stoicism emphasizes the importance of accountability and moral courage. Marcus Aurelius, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously stated, "What stands in the way becomes the way." This principle highlights that addressing mistakes directly is not an obstacle, but rather a pathway to progress. When we confront errors, we not only correct the immediate issue, but also set a precedent for honesty and vigilance within our community. This practice fosters an environment where mistakes are not feared, but embraced as opportunities for learning and growth. Moreover, addressing mistakes requires a thoughtful approach. It is crucial to focus on solutions rather than blame. When discussing an error, one should aim to communicate with respect and clarity, emphasizing the need for improvement rather than dwelling on the fault. This method not only alleviates tension, but also encourages a collaborative effort to rectify the situation. By framing the conversation around collective goals, individuals can work together to ensure that the integrity of their work remains intact. Failing to correct a mistake can also have detrimental effects on relationships. When team members or colleagues observe that errors are ignored, it can create an atmosphere of distrust. They may begin to question the reliability and accountability of their peers, which can erode the foundation of teamwork. Conversely, when individuals take responsibility for their actions and work to correct their mistakes, it strengthens the bonds of trust and respect among team members. People are more likely to feel secure in their roles when they know that their colleagues are committed to upholding a standard of integrity. Additionally, the act of correcting a mistake can serve as a powerful example for others. It demonstrates that accountability is valued and that everyone has a role to play in maintaining the quality of work. This culture of openness encourages others to speak up when they notice errors, fostering a proactive approach to problem solving. It creates a dynamic where individuals feel empowered to contribute to the overall success of the team or organization. In conclusion, addressing mistakes is a crucial aspect of maintaining integrity in both work and relationships. Silence in the face of errors can lead to larger issues, while taking the initiative to correct them promotes accountability, trust, and collaboration. By embracing the responsibility of addressing mistakes, individuals not only protect the immediate outcome, but also contribute to a culture of honesty and excellence. In a world where mistakes are inevitable, the willingness to confront them can make all the difference in fostering a positive and productive environment. In our interconnected world, the knowledge we possess is not merely a personal asset, it is a responsibility that can significantly impact the lives of others. When we encounter situations where our expertise or experiences could provide assistance, remaining silent becomes a disservice, not only to those in need but also to ourselves. The act of sharing knowledge is an essential component of fostering community, building trust, and creating an environment where individuals feel supported and empowered. When we choose to withhold our insights, especially during critical moments when someone is struggling, we risk perpetuating feelings of isolation and despair. For instance, consider a scenario where a friend is navigating a difficult period, such as dealing with grief, financial hardship, or health issues. If we have faced similar challenges and possess the tools or experiences that could help them, our silence in such moments can be interpreted as indifference or a lack of care. This is not an act of humility. Rather, it is a refusal to extend a lifeline to someone who may be desperately seeking guidance. The Stoics, who emphasize the importance of shared humanity, remind us that our knowledge should serve the greater good. As Marcus Aurelius famously stated, "What is not good for the hive is not good for the bee." This philosophy underscores the idea that our individual experiences, particularly the painful ones, hold the potential to guide others through their struggles. By sharing what we have learned, we not only help others, but also reinforce our own sense of purpose and belonging within the community. Moreover, sharing knowledge can foster an environment of openness and trust. When we speak up and offer our expertise, we create a safe space for dialogue and support. This encourages others to do the same, cultivating a culture where individuals feel empowered to seek help and share their own experiences. In contrast, silence can breed a sense of stigma around vulnerability, making it harder for others to reach out and share their own struggles. By breaking the cycle of silence, we contribute to a more compassionate and understanding community. It is also important to recognize that sharing knowledge does not mean assuming we have all the answers. Instead, it requires a humble approach, acknowledging that while we may have valuable insights, we do not possess the complete picture of someone else's experience. Phrasing our offers of help with sensitivity, such as saying, "I've been through something similar. Would you like to hear what worked for me?" can create an inviting atmosphere for conversation. This approach respects the other person's autonomy and allows them to engage at their own pace. In conclusion, the act of sharing our knowledge and experiences can serve as a powerful tool for connection and support. Remaining silent when we have the opportunity to help others is not an act of modesty, but rather a missed chance to make a positive impact. By speaking up and offering our insights, we not only assist those in need, but also strengthen the bonds within our community. In doing so, we embody the Stoic principle of shared humanity, recognizing that our individual journeys are intertwined with the journeys of others. Ultimately, the choice to share our knowledge reflects our commitment to fostering a supportive environment where everyone can thrive.